Hello friends, I'm so glad to see you today. Welcome to week 2 of our series Brave. This month we are learning how we can be brave with God's help. Last week we learned about how God chose a young boy named David to be the next king of Israel. God instructed a man named Samuel to go find someone, God would tell him who, to be anointed as the next king. Now Samuel knew it was going to be one of Jesse's sons, but he had no idea it was going to be the youngest of the bunch. We were reminded then that God knows who we are. Today we'll discover that God can use our gifts. God can use our gifts? That is actually our big idea this week. And it's not gifts like a Lego roller coaster set or an ultimate slime kit that we're talking about. It's the gifts that God gives us, the gifts that we can do something really well, the stuff we're good at. God gave us each some special skills and things we are really good at doing. Let's say our big idea together. God can use my gifts. Wonderful friends. Our story this week is still about David, and I think you may have heard of it before. Does David and Goliath ring a bell? Great, I'm glad it did. In this story, several years had passed since David had been anointed by Samuel. Saul was still the king of Israel, and he ruled people called the Israelites. Now, the Israelites were not getting along with a group of people called the Philistines, and they were at war. Some of David's older brothers were fighting the war with the Israelite side. And so David's father sent him to take some food to his brothers. Now, the Philistines had many giants on their side, and they were very tough to defeat. One giant, Goliath, who was their best fighter, stood over 9 feet tall. And every day Goliath came out and said, "Send one of your people to fight me. If you win, we will stop and become your servants. But if I win, you will become our servants." Now, no one wanted to take this challenge. But David was walking by and overheard that challenge. He's like, "I can do it. I can fight Goliath." One of Saul's men overheard that David was going to fight Goliath. And he said, "You cannot do that. He has been fighting for many years, and you are just a boy who has no experience in battle." But David knew that he had God on his side, and he said, "God has protected me from wolves and from bears, protecting my father's sheep, and I know he will protect me during this time too." Saul wanted to arm Daniel with armor and weapons, but Daniel didn't want to do any of that. He said, "I have my skills and God, and that is all I need." So he went to fight Goliath. And as he was approaching, Goliath thought it was so funny, and it was a joke that Saul would send such a young boy to fight him. But David said, "You come at me with the sword, and I come to you with God on my side. And after today, you will know that there is only one true God." David reached into the pocket on his side. He took only his slingshot and 5 smooth stones. And he pulled out a stone, and he got his slingshot going, and he released it. And it hit Goliath right in the head. And he was so big that he fell over with a huge thud. And David had truly defeated Goliath. Wow. All of us face situations in our life where there seems to be some giant standing in our way. It is not always a person. It can be something that we're afraid of, or just something that's bothering us. Those kind of situations can be very scary, but when we turn to God, we know that we are never alone, and we have the greatest helper. God helps us to fight those obstacles, just like he helped David beat Goliath. So let's make sure we always remember that, and that God can use us and the talents he gives us to further his glory and his love to everyone. David was gifted with his sling and his stones to take down a mighty giant. We have gifts that are useful too, but sometimes we have to dig deep down to find out what they are. I'd like you to do something with me. If you can find a rock or stone in your house or laying around your backyard, ask your adult for a Sharpie or another permanent marker. I'll give you a minute to do that. Wonderful. Now, I want you to take that marker and that rock. Anything's fine. If you don't have a rock, you can write it on a little piece of wood or even a piece of paper. And I want you to think of an area of your life that you are struggling in, need some courage or strength for God to help you in, and write that on your rock. Mine is worry. I worry a lot. I think about all the things that could happen, or have happened, or might happen, but I know that God is always with me, and God takes that worry for me. So whatever yours is, you can share it if you like, but you don't have to. It can just be between you and God. And I want you to take that rock and put it in your hands and silently pray to God to help you in that area of your life and give you strength and courage. Wonderful. We discovered in our Bible story today how David was brave to fight the giant Goliath. We too can be brave when we face big obstacles in front of us. God is always with us. As our Creator, God knows and helps us use the gifts given to each of us. Nothing is too big for God or for us. Before we go, will you please join me in prayer? Let's bow our heads. Dear God, thank you so much for this beautiful day and bringing us together so that we can worship you and read the stories that you left us, God. Thank you for reminding us that we have precious gifts given to us by you and that you can use those gifts to help further your kingdom. Thank you for never leaving us and reminding us that we can be brave with your help. We love you, God. In Jesus' most precious name, amen. Okay, friends, I'm so glad you joined me today. And remember that Jesus loves you and you are a blessing. Bye, friends.
Holy guacamole.
Welcome to Grow TV. Introducing your host, Carl, and your co-host, Cassie, where we learn, where we grow, and we talk about Jesus. Once again, welcome to Grow TV.
I can't believe that. It was just, wow. And then
Hey, Carl.
Cassie, I'm so glad you're here. I have so much to tell you.
Okay, calm down. What happened?
The most glorious thing. Do you remember what we learned about last week?
David becoming king?
Exactly. Well, I just read the next chapter today, and
Really? What happened?
well, the nation of Israel was at war with the Philistines, and David's older brothers were fighting with the Israelite army.
David wasn't fighting?
Nope. He was still just a kid. He was a shepherd, which meant he took care of sheep. I learned that because I'm a genius.
So what did David do next?
Well, he was told to bring food to his brothers, but when he got there, he saw a giant of a man. This giant's name was Goliath.
That's right, I remember his name. He was a Philistine, right?
Correct. And he was a real bad guy. But the thing is, everyone was afraid to fight him, even the king.
I can imagine. What happened next?
Well, get this. David went into the king and told him, I'll fight the giant.
David? The youngest brother? The shepherd boy? That's crazy.
Right? Well, the king said yes, and David went to get ready, but he was so small that the armor didn't even fit him. But David didn't even need armor, because he knew God would protect him.
Wow, that takes a lot of faith.
Sure does. So David walked out in front of Goliath, and Goliath looked at David and started to laugh. But then David said, "You come at me with the sword, but I come at you in the name of the Lord Almighty."
So Goliath had a sword? What did David have?
He had 5 stones and a slingshot. He learned to use his slingshot when he had to protect his sheep from bears and lions.
Oh, I see.
So Goliath was on his way to attack David, but David put that stone in the sling and swung it around just like this, released it, and that stone went right in between Goliath's eyes. David walked over, grabbed Goliath's sword, killed Goliath, and he saved all the Israelites.
Whoa, I can't believe that.
Right? The Israelites won.
Well, yeah, but I was thinking something else was even more incredible.
More incredible than Goliath being defeated?
Actually, yeah.
Like what then?
Well, what was David gifted at?
Well, he knew how to throw rocks with a sling.
That's right, he was really good at that. That was his gift, and God used that.
He also knew how to use his brains in battle.
That's right, David was creative and smart. He used what he did know how to do to figure out something he didn't know how to do.
So God used David's gift to defeat the Philistines and to help others.
You got it. And I think it's important that we find out what our gifts are and use them for God.
That's a good idea.
So, do you have any gifts, Carl?
Gifts? Of course I have gifts.
All right, what are they?
Watch and learn. And voila!
Wow, that was really cool.
Thanks. I know. I'm pretty impressive.
Yeah, sure. So, how do you use those things for God?
What do you mean?
I mean, all of that is great, but if we have talents and gifts and we don't use them for God, what's the point?
I guess I never really thought of it that way.
Yeah, we just can't forget that God is the one who gave us those gifts in the first place. So it's our job to use them for God.
Wow, you're right. I guess I just need to remember that God can use my gifts.
You know what? That sounds a lot like our big idea this week.
You're right! That's our big idea! Today's big idea is a big one.
It's that God can use my gifts.
So on the count of 3, we're all going to say the big idea together. 1, 2, 3. God can use my gifts! Alright! You did it! Woohoo! That's good. Today's lesson sure was fun.
It sure was, but I'm kind of bummed
Really? Why?
because I never got to show my gift.
Oh, well, it's not too late. What's your gift?
I can disappear.
Well, are you serious?
Yep.
You're telling me you can disappear?
Yeah, you want to see?
Yeah, I would love to see that. I would love to see you Cassie? Cassie! This isn't funny! Okay. Well, I guess I'll see you guys next week. I have to go find Cassie.
Hey, Carl.
Thank you for watching, and tune in next week for a new episode of Pro TV.
Wow, what a great morning. Before we go, Lucy and I have just one more thing that we need to do. Everybody come and bring your foreheads or your hands close to the screen for your blessing. Friends, you are a blessing and so very loved by God and by your church family. We hope that you have an amazing week. We'll see you next time.